Hello all, Joe Hooker 11 here, and today I'm going to be talking about Accel World. Accel World's first season just ended last Friday. Kinda sad, and I just want to kind of talk about a little bit, my thoughts and feelings and whatnot. Now, first off, I'm just going to say this: I'm not a fan of anime. I've never, as a little kid, I watched Dragon Ball Z. I watched Digimon, Pokemon. I watched all those shows when I was a kid, and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. But the older I've gotten, the more I'm like, um, not so much. I just don't have much of a hankering for it. The only shows that I've ever watched of anime that I'm like, this is awesome, is Death Note. Death Note was a really great show. It was really great. And so when I first moved in with my cousins. They're talking about Accel World. They're like, "Yeah, it's such a cool anime. They love anime," and I'm like, I don't know. I've never been much of a fan of it. Well, this one day I got done with the shower. I came out and they were watching. My cousin was watching an episode. One of my cousins, and three guys by a bar talking about killing a monster, and they're all in this armor and whatnot. I'm like, what? Really? That's kind of weird. Whatever. It didn't grab my interest. It wasn't like Death Note, where the very first scene of Death Note I watched, the very first scene, this kid is Yagami, Light Yagami. He's sitting in this cafe, and there's this biker who's picking on this girl, I believe it was, and he's he walks out and he's like, "Oh, well, I'm going to boom." Truck runs into the bike, guy dies. I'm like, holy crap, that's awesome. But no, it wasn't like that with the Excel World. It's like, that's kind of weird. Well, my cousin's like, why don't you watch the first couple episodes and then you might like it. I've seen enough sci-fi and whatnot and other shows to know that if you just watch like a scene or an episode in middle of like a season or whatnot, you really aren't going to get hooked in most cases. And especially with the start of a show, the first couple of episodes really they're not that good, but that's because they haven't quite yet found their stride with the show. They haven't yet found how they want to take the show. They really haven't found their vibe with it. And I'm like, all right, I'll watch it. And after the first three episodes I watched, I'm like, this is awesome. And then I watch the rest of the shows so that way I can catch up with the episode, which was episode 20, I believe, 20 or 21. I got into it pretty late in this first season. But so this pretty much the show is about in the future, Japan has invented a link, a device that connects your brain to the internet. And from there, you can create virtual gaming worlds. And in this gaming world, there is a sub world, which is called Accel World, which is pretty much a big fighting game. And the more people you defeat, the higher up you go level wise. And the highest anybody's reached is level 9, and there's 6 kings or so, and they are level 9s. They're like the best of the best. However, there is level 10, which nobody's attained, and there's a big myth that if you reach 10, the game ends, and you get to meet the creator of the game and kind of find out what the whole point of the game was. And there's this fat kid, Haru, who in the very first episode he's getting picked on. He snaps at his friends, and he's really been bullied his entire life. And this senior calls him over and pretty much it installs the software into his Neuralink so that way he can join the game. And because to find out, she is a king who was exiled for killing one of the other kings in an attempt to reach level 10. and she's trying to get back into the game, and she's been in exile for like 2 years or so, and so she doesn't have a legion or anything of followers, and he is her first step to retake her place and also to reach level 10. But I really liked the storyline. I really liked it, the arc that they had playing. Like I said, I've never been a fan of anime, but I can always see a good show when I see one. I can always tell them, and they really have some interesting ideas that they're going with it. Like everything is mind over matter. There are rules into getting there. Not anybody can just get into there. There there are very specific rules for your being in there. And not only that, but once you lose the ability, once you die in the world, you forget everything. You don't have any memory of it, which is why there are so few people that know about it. But anyways, I really did not like Haru, the main character. He was always crying. He always crying, always. He was always in near state of panic. Even as the show progressed and he started getting more confidence, it was always off balance by his freaking out at everything. He's like, no, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. He was always freaking out, and that really annoyed me. But I did like where they were going with the show and how they were wanting to play it out, and I think that in the end they will take it good places if they make a second season. And the reason why I say if is because first off, I'm a sci-fi fan. Sci-fi fans are used to being disappointed. We are used to having shows that we like and they always are canceled. Don't ask me why, but they always get canceled. There's like this thing against sci-fi fans. They make a good show and then they automatically get rid of it. I do not understand the whole rhyme reason why they would do such a thing. But this, but also I've seen a lot of series, and this is the very first season. They just barely finished up last Friday, and that was a closing if I've ever seen one. I mean, there is a possibility that they might make more, but they really set it up so that way, if they don't make another season, you've got some sort of closure. Even if you haven't reached the level 10, you have at least finished up that plotline that they were going with, that story arc. And it really makes me wonder, even if they do make another season, is that going to be the only season? Because it really makes it sound like that they can't, that they're not planning on doing much more with it. And it feels like that they're not even sure if they're going to be making another season. But while I'm kind of sad that there's going to be no more Accel World until hopefully another season comes out, at least we can be able to say that Star Wars Clone Wars Season 5 is coming out this Friday, and I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. But anyways, yeah, so hope you like the show. Subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell your friends about it, and see you next time.